Okay, today we're moving right along. It's been a while since we've done math, huh? Like 4 days, because we did math on Thursday, then we had like a review day on Friday, then we had the weekend, and then we had Monday was Halloween. So it's been actually 5 days since we learned lesson 2.13. That's okay. We can just think back to our memory, and I think it'll come back quickly to you. So today is Module 2, Lesson 14, and our learning goal today is to express equivalent measurements by multiplying whole numbers, decimals, and fractions. Draw and label tape diagrams to represent these scenarios. Okay, so the first one we're going to think about is how can we express 1 day as a fraction of 1 week? So in order to do that, let's draw a piece of tape. And if that entire tape is 1 week, how many sections do I need to divide it into to have 1 day? 7. So let's go ahead and divide that into 7 sections. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I can color in one of those and circle that to show that that is 1 day. Right? So therefore, what fraction of a week is 1 day? 1/7. Yeah, so 1 week, let's write that. So 1 day is equal to 1/7 of a week. Right? And we know that because there are 7 days in 1 week, so one of those is 1 out of 7 pieces. So if we're going to express 1 foot as a fraction of a yard, let's go ahead and draw another piece of tape. And this time I need to divide it into how many sections? If this is 1 yard, and I want to have sections that are 1 feet or 1 foot big, how many sections do I have to divide this piece of tape into? Aaliyah? 3, because there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So one of these sections is 1 foot. So therefore, 1 foot is 1 out of how many sections in the yard? How many sections are there altogether? 3. So 1 foot is 1/3 of a yard. If I want to express 1 quart as a fraction of 1 gallon, which one's bigger, a gallon or a quart? A gallon. So let's draw the gallon, the bigger one, as our piece of tape. So the entire tape is 1 gallon. And how many quarts are there in 1 gallon? How many quarts can I fit in this gallon? 4. So I'm going to divide it into 4 sections. And one of those sections is going to be 1 quart. Right? So then, how can I write? I can say that 1 quart is 1 out of how many sections total? 4 of a gallon. So therefore, 1 quart is 1/4 of a gallon. Draw a piece of tape, right? And we can say that that's 1 meter. And we know we have to divide it into 100 sections, but we don't want to spend all day here drawing 100 sections. So let's just draw a couple. And then we can do dot, 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 and then draw some more. And we show that this is number 100. Okay? And so one of these is 1 centimeter. Right? So therefore, we can say that 1 centimeter is equal to 1 out of how many sections? 100. 1/100th or 100th of a meter. Now, how can we write that using decimals? How do I say this fraction in number form? In word form? 100. So how do I write 100th as a decimal? I can say that that equals 0.01 meters. Do you guys see how the fraction here, 1 over 100, is the same thing as 100th? Mm-hmm. So I can say that 1 centimeter is in fraction form 100th of a meter, or in decimal form 100th of a meter. Make sure you write both of those down. So this time, what should my big piece of tape be? Is that going to be 1 meter or 1 kilometer? 1 kilometer. And how many sections do I have to divide it into to put meters in there? 1,000. And of course, we don't want to do that. So let's just draw a couple. And we'll do dot, dot, dot. And we'll show that this is number 1,000. Okay? And so each one of those is 1 meter. Right? So therefore, we can say that 1 meter is equal to 1 out of how many pieces? 1,000 kilometers. And how can I write that using decimal form? Junebach?
0.001.
You got it. Okay. Because we're converting from a smaller unit of days to a larger unit of weeks, we know that our answer should be less than our original number of 14, okay? So let's write our conversions. We know that 14 days is equal to 14 copies of 1 day. So in the parentheses, we're going to keep the value the same. That's equal to 14 copies of how many weeks? 1 day is how many weeks? 1 day is 7 weeks?
7 days is
1 over 7th, right? So it's 1/7 of a week. So then we can do 14 times 1/7. Okay, and remember back to 4th grade, when I multiply that, what does that equal to? It equals to 14 over 7. So it equals to 14 over 7 weeks, which is equal to 2 weeks. So we know that 14 days equals 2 weeks. Because we were converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we wanted our final number to be less than 14. Is our final number less than 14?
Yes.
So then we can feel confident in saying that 14 days is the same as 2 weeks. Going from feet to yards. Are we going from smaller to larger or larger to smaller? Is it 1 foot bigger or smaller than 1 yard? Huh? Smaller, right? So should our number be more or less than 24? Guys? Less. Okay. So let's write our conversions down. 24 feet is the same thing as 24 copies of 1 foot. Now, we know that's 24 copies of how many yards? 1 foot is how many yards? It's 1 out of how many total feet can be in 1 yard? Aditya? Yeah, because there's 3 feet in 1 yard, so we know that 1 foot is 1/3 of a yard. So we can write that in our conversion equation. Okay? Then we can multiply. 24 times 1/3 is the same thing as 24 over 3, isn't it? So it's 24 over 3 yards, which is the same as what? 8. Okay, so we wanted our number to be smaller than 24. Is 8 smaller than 24?
Yes.
So it's reasonable. So we can say that 24 feet is the same as 8 yards.